How much should you tip in Houston service industries? When visiting Houston, you might wonder how much to tip in the service industries. Tipping is a common practice here, just like in many places across the United States. It is important to know the general guidelines to ensure you show appreciation for good service. For sit-down restaurants, the standard tip is between 15% and 20% of the pre-tax bill. If your server goes above and beyond, tipping closer to 20% is a nice gesture. On the other hand, if the service is just okay, 15% is considered the minimum. When you are at a bar, tipping bartenders is also important. A good rule of thumb is to give about $1 per drink. This shows your appreciation for their service and helps them earn a fair wage. If you order food for delivery, you should tip around 15% to 20% of the total order. If the weather is bad or if the order is particularly large, consider tipping a bit more to acknowledge the extra effort. Taxi and rideshare drivers in Houston typically receive a tip of around 15% of the fare. If they help you with heavy luggage or provide extra assistance, feel free to add a little more to your tip. Valet parking attendants also expect tips. It is customary to give them a couple of dollars when they bring your car back to you. This small gesture can go a long way in showing your appreciation for their service. It is preferred to tip in cash whenever possible. This way, the service worker receives the full amount directly. Tips added to credit card payments may not always reach the employee, so cash is the best option. However, not everyone in the service industry can accept tips. For example, grocery baggers, package delivery personnel, and government employees are often prohibited from accepting tips. It is best not to offer them any gratuities. To summarize, here are the general tipping guidelines in Houston. For sit-down restaurant servers, tip between 15% and 20%. For bartenders, tip $1 per drink. For food delivery drivers, tip around 15% to 20%. For taxi or rideshare drivers, tip about 15%, more for extra help. For valet attendants, tip $2 or more when your car is returned. Do not tip grocery baggers, package delivery workers, or government employees. Following these tipping practices helps support service workers in Houston, who often relying on tips as a significant part of their income. Enjoy your trip and remember that a little kindness goes a long way.